Welcome back to the Social Distance Podcast, everybody. Won't lie to you, we really fumbled our way through this episode. We've got 3 fatigued boys. George has had a massive trip back from the States. He's fighting jet lag. He was via Turkey. Jones has had a big weekend in Wollongong, commentating on the Worlds, doing all his bits and pieces down there. I don't really have an excuse other than the fact that these guys' energy brought my levels down. I came in really ready to go.
Oh, bullshit. It was the opposite. You were flat as a shit Carter's hat. We've had to prop you up, son.
That's it. But anyway, it's a short...
You were out on the beers. Like, you're worse than everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a short episode, but you'll enjoy it, hopefully. We wrap up the Worlds. I wrap up my last race. I raced my last race last weekend. Officially retired now. Yeah, like, share, subscribe.
And George fishes for oysters.
Let's just run the intro and wing it like we always do and see what comes out of it.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Front kick.
Just getting bored and basketball chat.
My radar's going pretty hard at the moment. I think we should...
Will you shut up, man?
That escalated quickly.
We're going to need to get some more qualified guests on the show, eh?
Righto, lads. It's a low energy episode, this one. I can sense it in the pre-production that we're just not up and about. Let's just make an effort.
Let's suck every drop of energy we've got left in the tank. And if we combine 3 drops, we'll get a thimble and just shot it. And just, that's it. That's all we're getting today. It's not a carafe, it's not a liter of beer. It's a thimble, a shot, and that's it.
Mate, I sprayed my energy over between here and Turkey. Between JFK and Turkey, I sprayed my energy.
What were you doing in Turkey?
What was I not doing in Turkey? Hell of a place. I was trying to get home. That's what I was doing in Turkey. I was on this nice expedition in Boulder, Colorado. That's where I've been. My partner was there. She was there for a running race and stuff. Her team were there. And so we stayed with this, our family friends, like our American family. And it was just had this awesome time in Boulder, training, like little mini altitude camp, whatever you want to call it. And then I'm flying out Thursday lunchtime, leave Boulder, leave Denver, ideally landing 7 a.m. in Barcelona to get home on the Friday morning. So it's like an overnight trip, essentially. Perfect. Take off, start flying over to stop in JFK on the way over. As we come into JFK, we're just circling for ages. And then eventually the guy's like, we can't land. And I'm looking out the window. It's perfect sunshine. I'm like, what do you mean we can't land?
Did he do the calming voice where he goes, "Good evening, passengers. We will not be landing in JFK at this particular moment"?
Yeah, he did the thing where you take a really bad thing but say it in a good way.
Yeah.
Like he always said, I like, good news, guys.
Hey, everyone. Good news. You're not going where you wanted.
And then, so we land in like Newark, which is like annoyingly close to New York. So when I tell people like, oh, I'm in Newark, they'll be like, everyone's thinking I'm in New York. So yeah, just fly out of New York. So, no, it's Newark. Like, anyway, it's so we land in this other place because what happened was the UN delegation the UN conference was on, and all the dignitaries were flying out, and they're not allowed to have planes flying in when dignitaries are leaving or something crazy like this. So anyway, we get out of the plane and we're like, what the hell happens now? I've got another flight that leaves in 3 hours overnight to Barca. We're lining up in this line. Everyone just starts lining up randomly. So I'm lining up for 4 hours in this line. And I'm looking at the clock. I'm fuck. Next flight's already left. Get to the front of the line. As I get to the very front, I'm just about to say like, hello. The first word comes out of my mouth. Security just comes in. Security just storming the place, like screaming, like, everybody get down. Police running in with machine guns. Everybody out, everybody out. And it was just like full gas on. And then this
sounds like a scene out of Die Hard.
Mate, I can't believe this isn't like global news. Like, I was like, oh my God, this, like,
yeah.
How has this not been a big event since? So everyone
at this point, just shoot me, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to him. I was like, everybody out. I was like, if I stay, like, if I stay, will I get deported? Because it's probably my quickest fucking way to Europe right now.
Yeah.
So we exit this airport, we storm out. And I'm like, I don't know where my bikes are. I don't know what's going on. I don't know when I'm getting home. It's now like 10 p.m. at night. And we're just standing out on the street. And I'm in like New Jersey without a clue of what's happening. I'm starting to get pretty defeated by the stage. So I walk in back into the terminal, and then like find this Delta Airlines who I'd been flying with, and said like, "Look, this is my situation. I'll line up again, get to the front of their line, and they're like, oh yeah, we it's our obligation to reroute you and get you home." And she's just like typing away, and she's like, "Look, so your new flight is going to get you home on Monday." I was like, it's Thursday, and she's like, "Yeah, everything's full." I'm like,
Sounds like that scene out of Home Alone. When the mum's just trying to get back to Kevin, and they're just tapping away, and they're going, "Sorry, sir, no, it's full." Oh,
well,
excuse me. You were just waiting for like John Candy to roll up with the trumpet players to go, "Mate, jump on our flight to Barca."
We saw John Candy last night.
Yeah, we saw him walking through this. We saw him walking through. We didn't realize he was looking pretty dusty.
I was like, "Oh, he's come back from the dead. He doesn't look good."
But anyway, so I look on Skyscanner. There's a flight that leaves in an hour from Turkish Airlines. So I sprint around the baggage claim, find some bikes, get upstairs, get to the Turkish check-in, and she's like, "Oh yeah, it closes. The flight leaves in an hour. You can't. It's pretty late." And then she's like, "Oh, we've still got people here checking. We'll try and get you on." And she's good. She again tapping away on her. Just tapping away for way too long, just tapping for like 5 minutes, and I'm just sweating, half crying, like, what's happening here? And she's like, "Oh, there is a flight, but you don't want it. You don't want it. You don't want the seat." I was like, "Why not?" She's like, "It's the last seat, and they're really charging a lot for it. Like no one would want this." I was like, "Well, I'm pretty fucking desperate here. How much is it going to cost me to get home?" And she said, "Well, to get from Turkey to Barcelona is going to cost you €1,000. And you've got to get to Turkey first, which is like another." So anyway, it was like in the end, it was like over €2,000, and I had to go from Europe over Barcelona, over everywhere I live, 4 hours towards the Middle East. Stop in the Middle East, turn around, fly all the way back here, and then I had to drive. Oh mate, I was so defeated. It was just the most horrific travel. I was like, I said to Caitlin when I got home, I was like, "This is why I'm never ever going anywhere again. That's why I'm not like my holiday is going to be in this city."
That's it. Done. It's over.
So traumatizing.
But the thing is, though, like that would be a shit job. Like that's why that TV show, like on the airports, it was great TV because very rarely will you see people that aren't either super stressed, running late, lost bags, just genuinely pissed off. And they're always the ones that cop it.
Why is there an echo?
What do you mean there's an echo?
When you talk.
When I talk?
As well.
Nah, mate.
Mate,
You
it's your AirPods.
Had too many beers last night, I think.
Is that what it is? My AirPods?
I think so. No, I can hear an echo now as well.
Oh, I think that it's me because what's happened is,
of course, it's
I've been pretending to be listening to my AirPods, but it's actually coming through my computer.
How's the evil laugh?
And how's that now? Gone, I bet you.
It's gone.
You just got back from the Worlds, Jonesy. You down the Gong doing some alternative commentary.
We went in. We did a rehearsal on Saturday, and we were like, "Yeah, nah, should all be good." But geez, there's another layer of appreciation for commentators.
What did you do for your rehearsal?
I made sure we did all the tech stuff, and then we sort of did a quick little 15-minute run through of how we're going to do it.
Old race?
Yeah. Like we saw like an old race from the classics or whatever, and we were just bouncing off that. But the guy who was doing it, he said, "Yeah, no, I'm just going with the test run. We'll test that the live stream works, and I'll set it up on Facebook. It'll just go directly to me." I said, "All right, sweet." We get 20 minutes in. It's rough as guts, and we're saying all this sort of random shit. And I said, "Hey, mate, how come there's like 5 people watching live?" He goes, "What?" And then there were all these comments and mates going, "Guys, this is loose. What am I watching?" I'm like, "Hey, fuck, what?" So we shut that down. So that was a disaster. But what was funny was Mitch Docker's a celebrity, man. He had so many people stop him And I'm thinking, where's all the social distance podcast fans? Like, where's all the shit rider, great bloke, bloody T-shirts and that? I finally see one guy wearing the cap Bewls has got on. I thought, oh, fucking brilliant. He sees Mitch. He goes, oh, Mitch Docker. How you going, mate? I'm thinking, oh, just wait. You'll see me. I'm wearing the same cap. Whatever. He finally sees me. He goes, how you going, mate? And I'm thinking, oh, are you going to talk about the pod? He goes, can you take a quick photo of me and Mitch? So I took the photo of him and Mitch, gave him the phone back. I was like, fuck, it's not even worth it. Just let it go. No one gives a shit. It's deflating. Mitch is, I go, mate, you have a big name over. He goes, yeah, no, it's pretty full on, isn't it? Donuts. Fucking crickets.
That guy actually sent us a message on Instagram or something, because I like put on Instagram that, you know, like send us who you think should be a shit rider, great bloke for the, or great rider, shit bloke T-shirt for the Worlds. And he said, this guy commented and said, I nominate myself for not introducing or not saying hi to Jonesy when I had a social distance podcast hat on and just getting a photo with Mitch or something.
There you go. Stitch up.
That's his.
Yeah,
We'll give him a shirt.
Yeah, I got donuts. I thought, okay.
How are the crowds at the Worlds? Like I tuned in, I jumped on the alternative commentary with you and Mitch for the last 50K, and that's pretty much all I saw of the race. And it looked like big crowds, but I sort of, for some reason, I expected them to be way bigger.
Nah, I was underwhelmed, to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be jam-packed. You know, like with 1K to go, like say if it was in England or Yorkshire or whatever, it is just like 50 deep, you know. It wasn't like that. It was like a stage of Tour Down Under.
Yeah. But do you think that this was a scheduling issue? Because like there was finals footy on, there was semi-finals in RL, there was
100%
finals AFL, there was All Blacks New Zealand, All Blacks Wallabies,
Bledisloe, yep.
Bledisloe Cup. I mean, there was so much sport on in Australia, and I was just like, I was pissed trying to like. There was even like cricket on, and you're just thinking like, okay, in Europe, it's like, what if you're gonna put a Worlds on somewhere? I think you also need to like check out the demographic, and I don't think that like, okay, necessarily the same people that are watching Geelong play are the same people that are wanting to watch football. But you were one of them. Like, if you had the choice, people that want to watch cycling, if you had the choice to watch your team who you've supported for 30 years,
I'd watch footy.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then I started butting heads with Iffy. Like, obviously, you know, Remco, super rider, great. But what happens is you get all these old school dudes that are just traditionalists, right? Nah, it's got to be 270 Ks. It's got to be this. It's got to be that. And they lose track of, like, for me, I've always looked at cycling as entertainment. I don't give a shit about, like, the old school traditions. I'm more thinking from a viewer's point of view. From when that break is formed to pulling it back, for me, that is just like watching grass grow. It's like cricket. The one day is when it's 15 overs to 35 overs. They're just flicking them off the pads, letting them go, chipping singles. And I'm just like,
how was that in the commentary box? What were you filling it with?
Absolute dribble. And that's why we burnt all our matches in the first 100 Ks. And then Mitch, with 140 Ks to go, sheer panic in his face. How many interviews we got left? I said, mate, we've burned them all. He's, what the fuck are we going to be talking about? So, mate, we'll be right. We'll wing it. It's like, another beer. Like,
when I joined you boys, I could tell
drank our way through it.
I could tell there'd been a few cans drunk when I joined you boys.
Oh, but then, you know, when you're sitting in a seat for so long, you've literally taken all the sun's movement. And it got, for about 4 hours, it peaked its way through and just straight to the retina. So I had about 4 hours sitting there drinking cans, trying to commentate. And half the time, because we don't know what we're talking about, we tried to sound professional, but we clearly weren't because we didn't know who the riders were. So you go,
that's also hard though, because they're not in team kit. So you see a guy all year and then he's suddenly wearing Aussie kit and you go, who the fuck is that? Like, I was trying to work out in the breakaway and I was like, who is Aussie? Don't have a tall guy. And then I was like, it took me a long time to work out it was Ben O'Connor.
I thought Luke Durbridge. I go, there's Durbo off the back there. And Mitch goes, mate, that's not even Australia. That's Ren Shulhus who writes for Holy See. I go, what?
What's
Because that's
Holy
not
See?
Vatican City.
What?
Did you hear about?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, this
Did
guy
you hear
from
about this
Groningen,
guy?
he's like 41 years old. He's
Yeah.
from Groningen in Netherlands, and he moved to Vatican City.
He hasn't had a team for 4 years. His missus works for the UCI, and there's some deal that got it into, represent the worlds under the Vatican City. He hasn't had a team since 2018. I think he rode in the Dutch Nationals in the TT and ran 40th, about 8 minutes behind, and he saddled up. He got on the front grid, mate. Before the gun
Really?
went off, he was on the front row. The Holy See rider. Yeah.
What does Holy
I
See
thought it
mean?
was
Like
Turbo.
Holy See, like the letter C.
SEE. That's what it's under. Holy See.
Oh, I thought it was Holy City.
Yeah, what's this SEE mean?
Maybe
You
I
sure it
spelled
wasn't
wrong.
just Doc saying like Holy City, like with a slur? See?
Under pro cycling stats?
City?
It had country
City?
Holy See. Yeah.
SEE.
Yeah. But I was thinking, if everything's normal,
Fuck.
does that mean that the Vatican City can then apply to host the Worlds? Because then that'd be a mean hot dog crit, just doing laps in the Vatican City. It'd be like the old
They
bake
wouldn't-
crits.
I tell you what, they wouldn't have a problem with crowds there.
No.
Shit, no.
All the,
Wouldn't
all
clash with. It also wouldn't clash with the AFL Grand Final.
No. Swannies would be topping up their water bottles. Be plenty of holy water.
They'd be trying to baptize me every lap.
Yeah, that's
It'd
it.
be like acid to me. Well, holy water would be like acid to me. I reckon it would just.
I'm
I'd have an allergic reaction.
my eyes. But yeah,
But,
the crowds were underwhelming, Bills.
But it was
I
still a
thought.
good weekend of racing, eh? There's some bloody good races from there. I mean,
Yeah.
like I'd like to talk about the men's race, but at the same time, like sort of self-explanatory.
Yeah, we don't need to
Like-
go too deep into that. The
No,
only
but
thing
like-
is, every other team fucked up.
Hmm.
Like you see Remco in a group with 3 teammates. Why would you not just shut that down?
Yeah. Like, why would you let that group go? Like, surely at that point, that you when that group's going, you're like, this is a race winning move, especially in modern day cycling when the races start so early now. Like finals aren't
One
the
thing
last
that
30,
was
40K.
interesting was watching everybody just flapping around without radios, just like looking at each other like, well, I'm not equipped for this.
That's what I was going to ask you. How much of effect does the no race radios have when it comes to the tactics?
Well, I think heaps, but I think also a lot of it wasn't just no race radios. It looked like no race information. Like there wasn't even a camera on the Palo for the last 2 laps. And they didn't, like when Bling sprinted, I read he didn't even know that they were sprinting for second. Like,
Nah. Laporte
they were
as
just
well.
like, oh, we think we're up there, but for all we know,
they
there's 10 groups away.
Yeah, they just said they were sprinting. They didn't know they were racing for second, 15th, 30th. They just sprinted.
I was talking to Demmers. They don't even have race radio in the cars. Like they don't even have like the update you on what's going on in the race. Demmers said he had people all out on the course feeding him info, and then they just had like the signboards where you go, red means we've got to like chase it down or whatever. Amber and green. He said it's just an absolute shit show with information.
Wow.
You're almost better off having your sports director on the side of the road instead of in the car.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
at least
So, like-
once a lap, you figure out what's happening.
Yeah, you get a big whiteboard.
Just
come
let
up
the
with some
mechanic
code
drive the
words.
car.
Yeah, because that's all the car's there for, is to service give a drink bottle. I guess like riders can always come back and speak to the car. Directed in
It's
the
a
car,
fucking
but
long way back to the car at the Worlds. If you go back to the
Yeah.
car at the World, it takes you.
especially on a
you've gone
circuit
for a
like
while.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bizarre, eh? But like, I guess you just, I mean, in some ways it's like, makes people think. I mean, remember the UCI tried to ban radios for good years ago. We only had them in World Tour races. And like, it's important to have like a smart road captain then in those situations. For sure, because you got to make decisions yourself on the road. I mean, Remco just decided he's just going to fuck off anyway and drop everyone, which, easier said than done. But
Neve, though. Neve, way better. Won the world champion, New Zealander.
first under 23 women's world title goes to New Zealand.
Yeah, saw that.
Neve
Congrats.
Fisher-Black. What a legend, eh?
Do they reimburse her now that she won it for her flights and accommodation? And does she get a kickback now or nah?
They'll
Nah,
charge you
it's
for
just
the
more.
they'll charge you for the jerseys probably.
But with under 23s, do you get to wear them at all? Or when does she get
Nah.
to wear it?
No.
There's no under 23 women's races.
It's just like in a frame in the family
Yeah.
living room. It's pretty much it.
You'd hope that they'll have some, maybe they'll let her wear like it on the sleeve, or I don't know, like some version of a jersey.
Or maybe
her
it would be
team
like if
jersey
the
next
world
year.
champ's not racing.
Yeah,
Mm.
I don't know. They
'cause
should do
Annemiek's-
something.
How did you guys feel about Annemiek winning? Because on one hand, I was like, oh, yeah, legend, tough. That was unreal. Like, grit. But on the other hand, I'm like, fuck, she's retiring. So there's going to be no jersey in the Palo.
Nah, she's racing.
And she's
next
already
year.
won enough. Oh, is she racing next year?
Mm.
Oh,
I think she's doing
oh
it this
you
year.
retired.
It's me that retired. Yeah,
That was
How is it? You've been retired a week.
doesn't feel much different at the moment, to be honest. The only thing that's changed in my life is that I don't go and ride my bike in the morning every morning, which again, not a lot of changes. Like, it's kind
Especially when you were talking to Rowan about how when he was going, the power bears that you, hey, you can edit that. He goes, okay, right.
You just ruined Jumbo's. You just ruined a key member of Jumbo's train by telling him he can edit his power files.
No, but it was good. I had my last race on Sunday, actually, up in Belge. Finished off at one of the races I've always wanted to do, G.O.A.T. So that was nice. Never even fucking heard of the race.
I didn't even know you'd finished because I had messages like, when's your next race, bro? And you go, nah, I'm done. I'm done on the weekend. Ah, shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
I was all pretty
It
under the
wasn't
cover.
It wasn't a big build-up. I thought, given, you're a big character, big personality, there would have been this sort of like, the countdown begins 2 weeks till Sam says goodbye.
I think the team like retweeted my tweet maybe or liked it or something.
Well, that's all right.
Like
Is that the
team
one
liked
where you
it.
and your mum, the thumbs up sort of thing, and Hannah?
No, it was actually pretty good. No, in fairness, it was a real last-minute decision. So basically what happened was I went up to Belgium to race on Friday and Sunday. And as everybody knows, there's a race or a battle amongst 4 or 5 teams for the final spots in the World Tour next year to avoid relegation. And our team's one of those teams that's, having to race quite a lot to gain points to stay promoted. And so what happened basically in a nutshell was I raced on Friday and I didn't ride very well. And then at this point I was racing on Sunday and then I was racing again. I think like you're supposed to race yesterday. But after the race on Friday, I was sort of hanging out Saturday afternoon. I was like, fuck, I really understand the situation the team's in. And I understand that it's really important to have the best lineups or the best performing riders each and every race going forward for the next couple of weeks because of this. We need the points, we need the victories, we need results. So I kind of acknowledged to myself, like, fuck, I know I'm not in that 7 or 8 guys that are high performing. So I messaged the team and I was like, I understand the situation. I would completely understand if you guys weren't going to use me again for this season. In saying that, I'm happy to race. I'm still happy to race if you guys need me, but I understand why you wouldn't use me if that was the case. So I said, what do you think? Like, is there a chance tomorrow's going to be my last race? Because if it is, I want to know. I want to like buy the staff a beer, give everyone a hug, hang out after the race, stay the night, fly home the following day instead of flying home straight after the race, and just tell some stories and just have the feel that it's the last race. I didn't need to be a big fanfare, but I just wanted to know. And so obviously the team were bloody good with that, and they said, "Yeah, mate, look, let's call it tomorrow. Tomorrow's your last race." So that was actually good. So it was like I only decided like on Saturday night that the following day would be my last race. So it wasn't a big build up or anything like that. And I didn't tell anyone other than really the guys that were there. But it was good because my mum was there, Hannah was there, and it was actually like the perfect race to go out because I just ended up riding the front for 150k with my old mate, the Flying Mullet. So it was like kind of like quite a fitting end, like riding the front, what I've been doing my whole career. I had to tell, I was riding with Novi and Elio Kesa from Quickstep, and a couple of times I was like, boys, you got to look after me. I'm fucking hurting here. I'm hurting. And and then it was good. I just crossed the line. It was sort of really, really overwhelming and pretty underwhelming all at the same time. But a couple of riders from other teams that knew it was my last race came onto the bus afterwards, gave me a beer, had a beer with me. Jens Kukli gave me a beer. Jensky. And then went back to the hotel that night, had a couple of beers with the boys and the staff, and woke up in the morning, had breakfast, and fucked off.
Wake up in the morning and you're no longer a rider.
And then I was like 4 hours after I left the team hotel, I was sitting on a canal boat, on a tourist canal boat in Ghent, listening to about this when this fucking church was built in the 1600s, and I thought to myself,
reality.
There's a fucking reality hit.
Did you do a big speech to the group and all that? Did you get emotional?
Didn't say anything.
No?
No.
Fuck, I was emotional when I said goodbye. And I wasn't even a rider. I was just cooked.
Yeah. No, I kind of was like in that space where I was just like, I sort of just want to like go out now, you know?
Yeah.
And saying that, I'm going to have a retirement party. I'm sure I'll say some speeches then. But it was good. Like, I mean, and also knowing that like everyone in the team knew that it was my last race for like 3 or 4 months, or it was my last season, sorry, for like the last 3 or 4 months. So like throughout the last 3 or 4 months, there's been plenty of that stuff, you know? And actually it was a really good group. Had a good group there in Belgium. Had a couple of guys that I've been racing with for a long time. Chris Jensen, guys like that. A couple of Kiwi boys were there. All the Kiwis were there. Dion was there. Jack was there. Campbell was there. And then like a bunch of the young guys that I've been racing with heaps this year. So it was actually like a really good group of guys to do the last couple of races with. But yeah, and then Monday was a bit emotional. Like I wasn't like sad. I was just like, it was just weird, you know. I felt weird on Monday, and then got back to Girona and played golf, played cricket,
commentated.
But like today, for example, what do you do now? Like, what are you doing? You're doing a podcast today. You go to a podcast. What else are you doing today? Like, is it not bizarre?
Could definitely do with a nap.
But are you living the life of like? Do you think like, oh, this is what it would be like really on the like? At what point are you going to get bored?
Billy's already shown his cards where he's like, I'm sort of struggling with this a bit mentally, and George is like the angry dad. It's like, what are you going to do with the rest of your life, man? Like, what did you do today? You know that speech you get where it's like, I just piss off. Give me a week.
No, but I think I'm so like intimidated by the thought of just not having something to do. Like, didn't do well with sick days at home as a kid. You know, or like
the thing, like
fuck.
You couldn't do it for long. Like the first thing I've noticed now, it's been a week. I haven't exercised. I haven't exercised for a week, and already I'm like, I'm pretty restless now. I want to go for a ride. I want to go for a run. I want to do some exercise, but also at the same time, like I've got some things lined up for next year, and I know that that's going to kick off like in a month or two probably, where I'm going to have to really knuckle down into something different and something new, and like teach myself some things and learn some things. So I know that's coming, and I'm really excited for that. But so it's sort of a bit easier for me to now just to go, just give yourself a couple of weeks where you haven't really got any responsibilities, you know, other than like, you know, just not being a scumbag, I guess. But like you just gotta like I need a couple of weeks where I don't really do anything because I know what's coming and I know that it's going to be 100%. Busy and I'm going to be sinking my teeth into it. So
I think you
can kind of wrap your head around doing nothing for a little bit.
It's the month of Bewls. You just launch, just do whatever the hell you want to do.
That's it.
You want to sleep in, you want to get out, play golf.
I played shit. I played so shit, man. Ruined my day.
I hope you didn't take it out on those clubs.
One of them got thrown actually, like softly, but
he did blame the clubs. He did say they were too short.
Yeah,
they probably are.
Yeah,
but you probably need those longer clubs. You need like custom clubs. You got like gangly legs and arms swinging around shit everywhere. You need an extra.
They just call that height, don't they?
Yeah, you got height.
Got a bit extra height. But no, it's weird. It's at this point though, it kind of feels like it actually feels pretty normal because this is normal for the end of the season, where you don't train, you don't do much, everyone's sort of relaxed, everyone's kind of, although there's a couple of weeks left in the season for most guys, like everyone's starting to simmer down a bit, and the off season is going to feel, not you, you're still doing altitude camps, but the next month or so will feel very familiar. But I reckon where it's going to feel weird is when everybody starts training again, and training hard, training structured. Then it's going to be like, oh, I don't have to do that. That's not my job anymore. So then it will feel weird, I reckon.
Yeah, when everyone gets back on the tools and they start the 10 a.m. bunchies and the pull ourselves out of the off season together, that kind of vibe, and then actually you're just you're doing the rest of your life.
But at the same time, like I said, I'll be sinking my teeth into other projects, so I'll be at least occupied and motivated and excited. It's not like I'm going to be going, well, fuck, now what do I do? I've got nothing to do.
Well, you look at even Richie Port's last race, Tour of Britain. He would have been sort of thinking, building up for, the last stage is going to be my last race, and then the Queen dies, and they go, right, that race is over. Oh,
that's weird, eh?
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
Righto, go home now. That's it. There was no big fanfare.
I feel sorry for that, for him for that, because like I touched on, is I didn't need, or I didn't want the big fanfare and all this attention and all that stuff around it, around the last race. I didn't need or want that. All I wanted was to know that it was my last race, so I could at least acknowledge it myself or process it myself. But Richie didn't get that. He just finished the race, had his recovery meal, had a massage, went back to the hotel preparing for the next couple of days. And then it's you're done, mate. He would have been like, yeah.
Knowing Richie, I think he would have been fucking stoked.
Yeah, he probably would have.
Yeah.
Just been
yeah. It would be just that's it.
Yeah.
Done.
Oh.
Wrap it up.
Speaking of done, wrapping it up, what do you reckon?
I like how we just had the world champs and we just this is going to be a real clickbait. When I upload this to social media and stuff and write the description and all that stuff, I'll be like, we wrap up the world champs, but we actually fucking didn't. But people will click on it.
We talked about sinking beers, doing commentary. That's gold.
Yeah.
If you want to get some clickbait, just we go deep into the Van der Poel incident. And then
we find out what really happened.
Yeah, we know what happened, and we tell you what happened. We talk to the
CCTV footage,
and we talk to the two girls involved.
Yeah, their parents,
and we have Van der Poel on the show, and we hash out a restorative justice session on the show.
Yeah,
maybe I'll put that in the thing. I'll say Van der Poel doesn't join the show to talk about his incident.
Perfect.
That'd be clickbait.
We should get him on the show.
But I want to just quickly go back because we got sidetracked when George said, "How do you guys feel about Van Vluten's victory?" I reckon it was fucking epic. She is such a hitter.
At this stage, I thought she was retiring, so I'm changing my take on that.
Yeah, but mate, you've got to take your hat off to Annemiek. She is one hard ass. She's tough, man. Not just the fact that she was racing with a broken elbow, but the fact that just how the race went and how deep she went to come. She was dropped. How deep she went to come back to that group. How she just has the
absolute grit.
But I saw that coming. Were you sitting there when you saw that group stop? I was like, oh, I know there's two people just off the back of this group, and they're going to hit it with speed. You could just feel it, and it was I'm sure she's going to do it. And then you just see at the bottom of your screen there's an orange thing. Oh, the fuck! As soon as she went, I was like, "Fuck now."
Yeah.
She was in absolute shock. I've got video of it. I took it on my phone. She didn't even know that she'd won. She was looking at it and then she's going, "Did I win?" Because of obviously what happened at the Olympics. And then when it hit it, they're going, "No, you won." She goes, "Whoa, shit!" Went nuts. She couldn't believe it. And then there's Voss there going, "Yeah, well done." Fuck it.
Voss is just pretending, Voss is "You're meant to be my lead out, you snake."
Yeah. Yeah. It's smiling through teeth. That's when you see it. When
she's just literally completely What the?
Yeah, she's got. She keeps
Imagine
saying.
accidentally winning the world. So like she was literally just being a teammate, everybody, and she accidentally won the race.
And she said in her
She's a header.
post-race interview that like I won as
Unreal.
a domestique today because I was a domestique with a broken elbow, and I won. So
Everybody says like that Voss is the GOAT of women's cycling. And she probably is. But like Anna Meek is not far off the GOAT, man. Like how many world titles has she won? She's won 4, maybe?
well, she's definitely
Or
won the
5?
most impressive one. That one in Yorkshire when she went off the front with 100k to go. That no one can beat that.
But this year she won the Tour,
Giro,
the Tour,
or
the
their
Vuelta,
version of
and
it.
the Worlds.
Yeah,
Holy shit!
you can't do any more
That's
than that.
fucking impressive, man.
And
Seriously
Down Under
impressive.
wasn't on, so she didn't win that.
She won the Olympics. Hey, did she? No, she didn't. She didn't win the
Got
Olympics.
second.
Won the time trial,
Yes,
maybe.
Yeah, Kissenberger won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's a Palmares that anyone would be happy with, male or female,
Yeah, 100%.
young or old.
No,
you
I
see
was
that
happy-
photo
I was
she put on
happy to see it.
Instagram? She put a photo on Instagram of her and Remco and like 22 years of age, 39 years of age.
I had to bust out the old Gabba yesterday, first time. It's kind of cold again. Actually, I heard a story about the Gabba jacket. Do you guys know the do you know where it come from, this Gabba jacket?
What is a
Gabriel
Gabba jacket?
Rash.
The Gabba jacket is this.
It's Gabba, he made it.
neoprene- Yeah, well, I'm getting there. So it's like the neoprene jacket that Castelli make, right? And it's got this little Norwegian flag on it and all this stuff. And it's like neoprene for when it rains. It just kind of soaks the water in and meant to be waterproof and keep you warm. Anyway, we're in the elevator at Tour Canada, and I was talking to someone, we're telling a story about like when we raced Montreal or something. I said, yeah, I saw it was raining. You know, everyone had their gabbers on. And then this guy turned to me and he's like, yeah, it's a good jacket, eh? And I was looking at him and I was like, oh, it's Gabriel Rash. And I left and I was like, oh, I wonder if there's actually like he made this jacket. Because, you know, his nickname's Gabba. And he's now a director for Ineos, but he rode for Sky for years. Anyway, turns out this guy made the jacket, like designed it with them. That's why it's got a Norwegian flag. That's why it's called the Gabba jacket. Never saw a cent.
What? They
Never
flipped him.
saw a cent. He just flipped him.
Oh, that's shit ass.
I think he developed it with them in Cervelo test team or something like that. But
because
now every black jacket is called
They
Gabba.
put it under. You're working for the team, so they're paying your wage, so that's enough to cover.
Yeah. But like we call our jacket, our version of that, a Gabba. Everyone calls it a Gabba, named after this rider, Gabriel Rash.
Well, I suppose that's a bit of a tribute. Like you got something out of it. Like it's a household name.
What
It's
would
like-
the Jonesy look like? What would the DJ jacket be? It'd just be a Geelong singlet.
No, it'd have like a spot where you could put your beer cans. It'd have like sort of, you know, it'd be practical. It looks shit hot. All right, lads, I've got to get to bed. This time zone's killing me. I need to charge on. I need a power week, but merch, Bewls, merch.
Yeah, get
Thanks
behind
for
it.
the support. And if you do buy a cap and you see me walking down the street, just say g'day. Acknowledge me. Show me some love. That was
We're all friendly.
embarrassing. Embarrassing. I felt embarrassed.
All right. Cheers, boys. See you in a couple of weeks. Like, share, subscribe.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.